The next morning, we're headed toward the Temple of Ancients on our stupid plane boat.
We got that early morning brown.
We got the brown. Also, it just occurred to me that the tiny Bronco, when you see it in Rocket Town in Sid's backyard, is pink, but now it's brown.
Well, it got shot and
Yeah, that's true.
went into some water.
I suspect it just looks silly in pink
Like,
on the overworld.
we knew it stood out in the pre-rendered background scenes in that one fight, but it just looks dumb. No, that's a bridge.
You're 20 feet from the temple.
Oh, stands up, runs up, starts rubbing her face on the temple. No, that's just the outside wall.
The temple itself is actually up those stairs.
And she like sees another wall, looks back at Cloud, and Cloud and Barrett like close their eyes and nod their head yes. And then she starts nuzzling it as well.
This... God, the fucking Glover commercial. You remember the Glover commercial, listener?
Yeah.
Go look it up right now. There's a moment where you have Cloud standing in front of this, swinging his sword, but it's not Cloud, it's some dude. But it's obviously supposed to be Cloud.
And Glover's better than this.
Yeah, better than this. And then there's a woman wearing like adventurer gear swinging on a rope, which is obviously supposed to be Lara Croft. And like she gets bonked by Glover and falls down. And then there's this guy with guns who, I don't know, some people said he was supposed to be Duke Nukem, but I think he's just generic soldierman. Which is weird, because it's weird that they would use two specific examples than one generic one, especially when there was a third icon at the time,
Yeah.
a platformer, that they could have used for that. Fuck.
I would have been fine if Glover was an okay game. Be like, yeah, they were a little cocky,
Yeah.
but at least the game was fun.
Yeah, exactly.
It was not a good game.
I have a copy over there that I'm gonna have to play just to find out, because I never actually played it.
It's just more of like a... It just doesn't even... It's not a game you would expect to come out around that era. It's not like there are clear objectives. It's just like, here, dribble this ball, walk on this ball, like use this ball to smush something, and I don't know, collect fucking gloves or fingernails or something.
Whatever our collectibles are, fuck.
I wish Glover collected fingernails. That would have made it much better. Like, okay, I don't know what this weirdo's doing with all of these, but there's got to be a reason.
Then Glover, which on the surface is this cute mascot platformer, is actually this insidious and horrific nightmare.
Just like a gross hand.
Yeah. It's a gross hand.
Missing fingernails.
Yeah. So Sang is about to die.
And Clud's like, you crying, babe? Let me wipe my hair. I'm stand here and wipe my hair back.
Let me wipe those tears for you, and then starts rubbing his hair on her face. There we go. That's the stuff.
That's what makes it spiky.
Cloud, stop. Cloud? Okay.
The tears of ancients make my hair spiky.
There are a variety of mechanisms within the Temple of the Ancients, and none of them make sense.
It's like that shot being framed by Cloud's child's drawing of a mountain of hair. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, this fucking MC Escher painting that you're in.
What's that asshole down there?
He's just an asshole. I think he's an ancient. Or maybe he's a ghost? I don't know. Even Barrett's annoyed.
Just immediately like, fuck this guy. Can I shoot him yet?
Mm-hmm.
You can't shoot everyone, Barrett. Oh, you watch. You watch.
A real hero can shoot the sky.
How does this work? I mean,
Don't worry about that, though.
Like, how do they keep coming?
Just don't worry about that.
Let's take a sip from the pool of G2 Gatorade.
Yeah. Glacier.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, oof.
We did it. Now it will stop. Even though it should have stopped when the Turks came through here. Whatever. Don't worry about that, though, either. Now let's backtrack real quick.
But what if those things come rolling again?
I like that they just stood there and watched her run, then watched her run back.
Well, because they were like, "You kidding me, lady? Like, we just dodged death like 5 times, and
we were just over here. Why didn't we deal with it then?"
What was the point? What's full of knowledge? Why didn't we drink the knowledge earlier?
Some of that sweet liquid perp.
Some of that living soul juice.
Living soul juice, new Gatorade.
Living soul juice, and then like it just cuts to some James Brown. It's like, ow. I feel good.
Eris is lowering herself closer and closer to the pool to hear what it's saying to her, and I wish she just slowly dipped her head into it entirely. So what's that?
She has her head underwater for like a good 30 seconds.
Yeah. They start to get real nervous. Like, should we do anything?
Barrett's like, nah, man, you gotta let her make her own choices. She's a strong lady. All right, let's pull her out. She's drowning.
Yeah. All right, she went limp.
You got it, babe. I'll be so careful. He wasn't very careful.
Not at all. And he finally asked her out to dinner, so she's all giddy and like, hee hee.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Her and Cloud are gonna have so much to talk about after all this.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that either. Hey, you ever had like a huge crush on someone that you thought could be your soulmate, but then they get fucking murdered by Sephiroth? Sephiroth specifically? Hell yeah.
It happens a lot. It's like you could
that was a big deal back in '97.
Yeah, you could really have like a support group.
Well, they talk about Sephiroth, how he came through Junon Harbor and killed a few soldiers, so presumably there are girlfriends and wives, possibly boyfriends, who are like, you know, I did have a spouse or a partner or whatever, and then they got murdered by Sephiroth. Saying is surprisingly nonplussed, given that Sephiroth just fucking bamfed into existence in front of him.
It's like, I don't care.
Whatever, I'm a Turk. We live on the planet where knowledge is life, but also can crystallize, and then we can use that to cast magic. It's really hard to be surprised by anything.
It's like, what if I die? Who cares? I'll just become some sweet magic, maybe.
Maybe I'll be like a sweet falcon.
Yeah, maybe I'll come back as a fucking badass falcon. You know, in fact, let me do this for you. And he just grabs the sword and starts walking into it.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That's the stuff. A little left.
Oh, shit.
So Sephiroth's ultimate plan is to collect all of the planet's energy within himself and be reborn as a god.
No, we didn't have our head in the water.
Eris, you were drowning. That was a dream that was a dying dream. This episode's a bit longer, because guess what? A lot of shit happens in the Temple of the Ancients. It's kind of a big deal coming here.
Yeah, it's kind of a major story beat.
Yeah. Also, this is episode 22. I think there are 36 episodes in total. And consider that we're still on disc 1.
He's just lounging in that pool.
Yeah, he's just
of knowledge.
lounging. Just lounging.
It's like, the knowledge feels so good on my butt.
It feels, oh man, working out those knots, yeah.
I haven't showered before I entered the hot tub.
You know, transplanting your consciousness into a pseudo-clone of yourself and then morphing its entire physiology to match your own, including, somehow, a 6-foot-long blade, takes a lot out of you.
I didn't really wipe my butt that well last time I pooped. Now I'm in this pool. Consider that. Nyum nyum.
All they say is nyum nyum. They could have been the original meme. If this game had come out 10 years later, I think those things would have been memes, and now this mouth is talking to us. Or maybe it's an eye? I don't know what it's supposed to be.
It's like a scallop looking at us.
Yeah. So there is something in each of these orifices. Some of them are blocked off and have nothing. Some of them have very important items. There's an elixir, I think there's a ribbon. See, some of them are just fucking blocked off. You're like, well, that sucked. But one of them that you find is Eris's final weapon. Which, given the strength of her weapon, if you didn't know that she was going to die, you should be a little perturbed. This seems a lot more powerful than anything else. A lot more materia slots. Don't know how you can really build from here. They seem to work themselves into a corner.
Do you think Final Fantasy VII... Well, no, I mean, Final Fantasy did it in previous installments, but I seem to remember quite a few PS1 era RPGs where it's like, oh, one of your main party members died. And you're like, oh, fuck. Like Legend of Dragoon, I know that some party members died in that, at least one. But I wonder if Aeris's death was a spark to that flame, like, oh man, like, what if we killed one of the characters at the real pivotal moment, and it was just like a trend that some hopped on?
Maybe.
I mean, it's a pretty big deal.
I mean, they had killed characters before in Final Fantasies, but it was, with the exception of Galoof in 5 and Leo in 6, but Leo you only knew for like 10 minutes. With the exception of those two, they were never permanent.
Yeah.
There was Tella in 4, but he was the only permanent one.
But it never mattered. They always seemed to get replaced immediately, and there were already so many party members that you're just like,
Well, sure, in 5, even when Galoof dies, he's immediately replaced with his granddaughter. Same thing in Legend of Dragoon. You have one character who dies, but then another character just inherits his exact abilities. It's the beer fest way of getting around the problem. Of just, hey, I'm his twin brother, and he's been telling me all about all this stuff, so it's not like we need to get acquainted. Why don't you just call me by his name? So cold, I'm always by your side. Sephiroth, are you just singing new metal to yourself?
Yeah.
Are you listening to Breaking Benjamin over there?
Yeah.
Splendid.
I just don't like Breaking Benjamin. I just don't at all.
They had like a couple of songs that I liked, but then as I'm listening to most of the music, I'm like, there's nothing to this. There's nothing to any of this.
I don't like. I'm not saying they're not talented as musicians. Every quality of the music I just dislike.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like all the other songs that I didn't like, I listened to and found nothing to it. It's odd that music can exist and have no substance.
Yeah.
And yet still be there physically. It's like a ghost.
It's like, how did you manage that?
It's like a musical ghost. You can see it, but then you can just pass right through it, and it leaves no impact or impression on you.
It's like, you would have been better if you focused your efforts into a better song.
Yeah. Mother, it's almost time.
Mother,
Soon we will become one.
Mother. Once the planet is undone.
One of my ideas for the RPG idea that I've had going on is that if you buy like the whole episode, like it's 10 episodes or however long, and after you buy the whole thing and complete it, you unlock the nonsense voiceover that like you and I record for it. So it's like, wait, what the fuck? There's no voiceover for this game, and you play it, and it's just us reading the lines like, what would happen if there were an injury? Think how much energy would be released. Like, why'd you make Sephiroth sing the whole time?
Sephiroth's freaking out right now.
So here's his plan. Summon Meteor. Jack the planet all up. The plan's like, uh-oh, gotta shunt all my energy to fix this. Then Sephiroth's just there drinking it down.
Sephiroth, that's a lot of energy. I'll get through it. That's fine. I'll slam it down.
It's like when Thor and Loki went to the home of the giants, and the giants were fucking with them with illusions, and like, hey, drink from this horn, Thor. The best of us can drink from it in one gulp. And Thor's drinking and drinking and drinking, and it just doesn't get through it. And like, well, most of us can drink it in 2 quaffs, and so he keeps doing it. Can't get through it, and then they're like, even our children can get through this in 3, Thor. And he keeps drinking, and he just can't get through it. And they're like, haha, and they all just laugh at him, make fun of him, and Thor's getting pissed, but Loki keeps him from violence. And then the next day, the king of the giants is leading him and Loki out and explaining all the illusions to him. And he's like, that horn you were drinking from, that was actually the ocean. If you look at the sea as you walk home, you'll notice that the level has significantly dropped.
Also,
You're a scary guy, Thor, so we're just gonna leave.
Also, you're full of crabs and whales.
So that's fucked up. So here's where Cloud's consciousness, his psyche, is really starting to crack. Like the direct presence of Sephiroth is just starting to tear his two conflicting personalities apart. So he was obviously breaking down, and now he's doing his hair swipe and his shoulder shrug.
And puts his foot out and his arms up.
That pose in particular, foot out, hand on hip, other hand kind of on thigh.
Barrett's like, something's wrong with this white boy.
Yeah. And that's one of those things Barrett references later when he's like, he was always a weird guy. Like, everything he did was practiced and not natural.
Is this fiery sphere coming towards people? Is this some kind of disaster?
This fiery sphere falling towards these Sims.
Or it's just forced perspective and someone's doing a rad yo-yo trick
Yeah.
right in front of the camera.
Yeah. Woo! Woo!
I
I saw a guy walking down the street a few days ago playing with a yo-yo. And he wasn't even good with it. Like, if you're gonna look like an asshole, at least be good at whatever you're doing.
It's like...
At least be the guy who's rocking that unicycle.
Everybody's playing with fidget spinners, and this guy's like the poor kid who's like, I got a yo-yo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everyone's like, fuck yo-yos. Those are lame. And they were cool.
Yeah.
Not anymore, loser. It's all about fidget spinners now.
This is a weird boss because it seems completely incongruous with where we're at. Like, dragons have nothing to do with the ancients as far as we're aware.
I was napping down here. You ruined my nap.
Also, how to get in this room? How did we not see it when we came in?
You know, Cloud's really good at avoiding things.
This is true. This is true. He can dodge like a motherfucker. He's basically bayonetting his way through everything. Hey, Cloud, what happened 5 years ago? Why didn't we spend more time together? Which time, Dodge? Just Cloud leaping to the side, so close.
Fuck, I want to play Bayo 2.
We're gonna play Bayo 2 as soon as we're done with fucking Uncharted 4. Electric Boogaloo. Uncharted 4, Nathan's Poor.
He seems to be making a good living.
He seems to be making a decent living with what he is doing. So, on top of learning all these limit breaks and leveling up my characters, I also mastered a bunch of materia, so I have access to Bolt 3 and all that right now.
Yeah. Wow. Fuck off, dragon.
Yeah.
Just like the rest of your dinosaur buddies, huh? Meteors just tore your asshole apart.
Your whole asshole, fuck. That dragon armlet is a very powerful piece of armor. I think it absorbs or nullifies or cuts in half. It significantly decreases the damage from fire, ice, and bolt.
Like how you go from the most benefit to like absorb, nullifies, cut in half.
Maybe, but even if it cuts it in half, it's still pretty good. When I played through this game last year, which is where this save file comes from, I had it equipped on Eris. What I didn't realize is that after Eris leaves your party, they don't unequip her. They take off her materia because that'd be a step too far, but she keeps her weapon and her armor. And so she took that dragon armlet with her. I went, well, fuck. Really could have used that. Not that this game is overly difficult, but it's still nice to have any advantage you can get.
Cloud, why am I naked for this last fight? No reason. No reason.
Yeah.
Just go.
And this mechanism that right behind them is the most confusing, because Eris is like, oh, you solve these puzzles, and as you do it, the temple grows smaller and smaller, and then it turns into the black materia.
That's weird.
That's weird. It's like, why would you... Okay, you built this whole temple to protect the materia. Why would you give anyone any means of accessing the materia? Also, you're saying the entire temple is the black materia? Yeah, they just said that. Like, it makes sense that you can only solve the puzzles from inside. I don't know what they mean by puzzles, though.
Oh, is that walking underneath those giant Cheerio things that were spinning at you and hiding under those and drinking drinking the perp?
No, it seems like you just play with that altar right there, and then eventually it'll shrink and turn into the black materia.
They didn't say it was a good puzzle.
That's true. This is another one of those things that I would hope they readdress with a remake.
Imagine going back in time and delivering some puzzles, like of any sort, even ones that you just make up on the spot to some older folks of, hundreds of years ago, just like solve this riddle, and they're like, oh my head, I can't think. This guy's a sorcerer.
Burn him, burn him.
Do the 3-cup thing with the ball under one. And they're just like, whoa, magic.
It's just crash zooming in all these peasant faces. Man, apparently you get reception inside the Temple of the Ancients. That's the most unbelievable part of this game.
Satchmo.
Yeah, I overheard the whole story somehow. Don't worry about it.
Don't forget about old Satchmo.
One thing I love about Final Fantasy X is they get around this issue by just having your whole party there the whole time.
Yeah.
And they work it into the narrative. You're a bunch of pilgrims escorting one particular pilgrim.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is why your party is together all the time. It never made sense to me. It's like, there's no reason for you all to split up outside of them only wanting you to have 3 party members at once.
I always wanted an RPG where you had, like, let's say 6 characters, 3 party members per character, and you go through it, and there's cell phones, and you can, like, text and shit to each other and, like, track each other on GPS, but depending on which party member or party you create and which paths you take, like, that's how you would replay the game, is because, they're over there, like, having their own adventure. We'll meet up over here, but you're, like, sending pictures to each other, like, oh, yeah, we're doing this. It's crazy.
So right now I'm just taking a quick look at all of her limit breaks. Like, that one heals you. That one raises your other 2 party members' limit gauge to the max, so that's good. Makes everyone invincible. Fully restores all allies. Great Gospel. Fully restores all allies, makes them invincible 1 time.
Damn.
So, I've only seen her limit break twice, because she's only in the first half of this game. It's a pain in the ass to get it, and also the requirement to kill enemies to learn limit breaks means that Eris rarely learns her limit breaks.
Yeah.
Outside of Healing Wind and Seal Evil, her first 2. So this is the evil wall.
Wow.
This was my biggest stumbling block as a kid. This motherfucker right here. So when I was playing 4 for the first time and I found the demon wall in there, I went, oh geez, this is where it comes from.
Ouch.
Yeah.
You just dropped a chunk of temple on my head, brother.
Yeah. Just gotta show this off once. I'm sure it's everywhere on the internet by now, but fuck it.
Oh yeah, of course, Barrett going up trying to steal stuff.
0 damage, motherfucker.
Slice. Ow. Hunger max. How many hits is that?
It's a bunch, but they have significantly reduced attack power, as you may have noticed.
Yeah. If there are multiple enemies, does he
It
split
is.
it up?
Yeah, it's one of those attacks where they're randomly divided between the enemies present.
I always was really, I don't know why, but in MOBAs or any RPG or game with RPG elements, I've always been drawn to the attacks that are more about the aggregate damage, like all over instead of focusing on one. Like, you know, for instance, that attack that Barrett just did, if you're able to pop off like 200 to 300 a few times on 5 people, and it doesn't kill any of them, maybe one, but just the fact that you just did that much damage and weakened them, to me, that's always been really cool.
By the way, that attack is called Petrify.
Ooh.
Get it? Get it? Get it?
This sounds like a Judas Priest song. Petrify. You know what's one of the most painful things? Is listening to the Hellion without it going directly into Electric Eye.
Oh god, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
When it comes up on shuffle and you're like, oh, the Hellion, you're waiting for Electric Eye to start and it doesn't, and you're like, why?
Yeah, that's one of the things that frustrates me about putting music on shuffle, is that a lot of bands do that, where they divide the track so you have the intro and then it leads seamlessly into the next song, and then even the next song like doesn't feel as impactful without an intro.
Or some songs that end, but and they're like there's no silence because it's meant to go like right into another something else, or I don't know, anything like that. You're just, or some that even like crossfade into the next track. And when a song that ends with a crossfade is on shuffle, you're just like, fuck. Not cool.
So this demon wall has that rush ability that it does in other Final Fantasies. This one's not as bad. It's not instant death. It does a bunch of damage to your party. As you can see, I went from being invincible to now Eris is dead. Cloud and Barret have half-life, but it's dead now because I used Meteor Rain. Should we revive Eris? No.
No, let's celebrate first.
No, this is this is the last time we'll see her alive anyway.
You know, that Phoenix Down's a little bit more valuable.
Yeah. And Satchmo, I guess, was just at that back door the whole time, listening to this wicked battle go on. Oh man, it sounds like there's somebody in Odin and Bahamut. Kate Sis theme.
It's got some sweet moves, though.
Yeah. So many things they need to address with the remake. What the fuck is Kate Sis' deal? What's going on with the mechanism of the Temple of the Ancients?
What's up with Eris's eyes right now? Did you like hump?
I'm so exited. Did you see that?
Exited instead of excited.
Yeah.
I was watching Kate Sith hump the air.
Oh yeah, the way he does.
Eris.
Let's see. We need to give every character some sort of emote. What can we do with this model? Fucking nothing. Well, we can make him kind of hump the air.
What's happening?
Yeah. He's reading their fortune again. Remember, I'm a fortune teller. That's what I do. And he completely botched it, because guess what? Fortune telling is bullshit. Except the one when he foretold the plot of the story. You will find what you're searching for, but you will lose something dear to you in the process.
No, Kate Sith, don't leave.
And it's weird because it's supposed to be this touching moment, but Kate Sith is just a stuffed robot.
Be strong, Satchmo.
Yeah.
And then it shows like a sunset with like a half-transparent like image of Kate Sith, and it's like Kate Sith, like death and born days.
Yeah. Kate Sith, 1997 to 1997.
It's like you were a robot. It doesn't matter if this body dies. You'll come back anyway.
Yeah. Yet he's acting like he's real. So what's his deal? What's his whole fucking deal?
It's called role-playing, alright?
Is Reeve just up in Shinra Tower being like, oh man, but does is this machine really a person?
What is a soul?
Reeve is just in his office going, what is a soul though?
Am I real? Am I a robot? Is someone controlling me?
Is this unit alive? Oh, Jesus Christ. So, one of the questions within the Mass Effect universe is, are the Geth living creatures? The Geth are a collection of AI that inhabit robotic bodies in order to interact with the outside world. They're the reason that in the Mass Effect universe, artificial intelligence is banned. Because they don't want something to gain sentience again, so they don't have to deal with this existential problem.
Yeah.
But the whole thing throughout is like, are the Geth alive? Are they people? And whenever you find one and you're able to talk to them, they refer to themselves in the third person as we or this unit, etc., because they think of themselves as a collective. If you take the Paragon path in Mass Effect 3, you end up taking some actions which basically bring the Geth on the side of humanity and the rest of the races, and they start referring to themselves in the first person, like they now have true sentience. They think of themselves as individuals. And it's just an exploration of the question of like, is something that's artificially intelligent, self-aware, is it alive, right? And there's not a definitive answer to that, but it's something fun to think about. There's the indoctrination theory in Mass Effect 3, which was proposed by a lot of people, but one guy in particular put out a very long video where he explores the idea that Mass Effect 3's ending is taking place entirely in, not Master Chief, Commander Shepard's head. And it's a last-ditch effort by the Reapers to bring Shepard over to their side by convincing them that there's this reality going on. And the guy doing it, as part of his theory, addresses the question of the Geth. And he completely missed the point of their whole deal. He's like, oh, at some point they asked, like, oh, are we alive? He's like, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Legion. You're not alive. You're not a living creature. Like, dude, did you completely miss the whole fucking point of that? You can't just say flat out that they're not alive.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's coming at it from a religious angle.
Oh, yeah.
That he's like, oh, no, something like that's not really alive. Not really a creature.
By the way, Cloud and Eris just jumped the fuck down that hole.
Yeah, they did. And it turns out the Temple of the Ancients is a lot smaller on the inside than it seemed while we were in there. Sephiroth, when did you learn to fly?
Doesn't matter.
It matters a lot, actually. When did you learn to fly?
He's learning to fly.
Yeah.
But he ain't got wings.
He can fly like an angel without wings.
Or one wing?
Maybe. Seems like that angel will just flop around like an asshole.
What is adult Clud's body doing right now?
Just being controlled, basically.
Don't go towards that. Oh no, little boy Clud.
Yeah.
Stop it with your little boy powers.
Yeah.
Your little child strength.
The little child Cloud represents Cloud right before he left his hometown. And it's that part of him that realizes what's actually going on, but that he won't address. And right now, because Sephiroth is so close, he has no. He finally can't. He can't fight back.
I mean, Sephiroth's so handsome. How could you?
Well, exactly. Just with his raw guile and charm, you're like, ooh.
He got like that mature, distinct gray hair, but the body and face of a young man. It's just, you know, you got that long. sword.
Sephiroth, you give me the vapors.
You got so much sword just hanging.
Look at that hanging sword. Do you mind if I touch it? Reach my hand out right now. Ooh.
Sephiroth's like, I'm a shower and a grower.
Oh.
Hey, ladies, dudes, dog, lion creatures.
Red 13 winks. I'm Satchmo number 2. Right, pleased to meet you all. You're still being controlled by Reeve. You're still being controlled by the same guy.
No, I like to imagine Reeves like real deep in this role playing.
Yeah,
he's like, oh fuck, dude, I can't stop playing video game.
Yeah, his work is really starting to suffer right now.
He's just in an office that's only lit by the monitor he's watching. He's got like bags of chips around, and like he's peeing in Gatorade bottles.
Well, they're basically, from his perspective, they're on a raid. Right? They're going through the Temple of the Ancients. Like, oh fuck, man, they need me. I can't. I need a bio break, but I can't. Oh fuck! Gotta get that sock.
Gross. It's absorbent.
Oh, it's leaking.
Oh, it's absorbent enough.
There was a hole in the heel.
Yeah, it's not absorbent at all.
Oh well. At least the guild needs me. Eris's advice: stop worrying about it. But I can't. All right, then why don't you really worry about it?
Then quit half-assing your worry, dude. How'd I get behind that tree? You don't know.
Eris, this sounds strangely fatalistic. So you don't have a breakdown.
Now show her how you can fly. We'll feed you nuts.
So you can have a whole bunch of kids. One of which will eat shit, but then tell everyone goodbye. I don't know how Eris knew about all of this. Also, I don't know how she's actually talking to Cloud right now in his dreams. Seems like Eris may have learned a lot in the Temple of the Ancients, but that's never addressed.
Well, she drank all that knowledge drink.
Yeah. She got a couple of slurps in, but then Sephiroth came down and was like, Like, Sephiroth is the guy at the party who sees that there's pizza, but he doesn't really know anyone. Can't talk to anyone really, and so he just keeps going back to the pizza for something to do.
And then
before he knows it, he's eaten too much pizza.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to eat the last couple of slices because then people will notice that it's all gone. But at the same time, he wonders if leaving 2 slices will be worse. So he does eat the last 2 slices.
And then someone's like, who ate all the vegetarian pizza? Everybody knows that Janice can't eat the other pizza. And someone just went and ate all the veggie pizza. And he's like, oh, fuck.
And Janice is like, good job.
Now what'll I eat? Now what'll Janice eat?
I like that they ask Cloud how he's doing. If you choose not good, Bart's like, oh, you better keep it to yourself.
He's like, dude, it was a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Man the fuck up. And then he looks over at Tifa, and Tifa's just like slowly like nodding her head yes, like yeah.
Yeah.
You better man.
I have to agree, Cloud. You got to man up, shut up, put up, wake up, woke up. Is woke up something we say these days? I don't know. I don't know if that's something we're saying. I'm not up on the lingo, but it sounds like woke up is something we would say. So Cloud, you got to get woke up.
Yeah, it's your fault, dummy.
Yeah. Ain't no getting off of this train we're on until we get to the end of the line. I wrote about that offhandedly in my notebook when I was writing about trains for Clown Warriors, and how trains, they serve a good narrative function because just the raw mechanisms of a train give you a lot of excuses to have them stop or have to go in a certain direction or whatnot. But they also serve the obvious metaphor of, okay, you're heading unerringly towards some sort of end or destination. Trains are cool.
Yeah.
You should always put trains in your fiction.
And you should always quote Barrett.
I don't care if it's a space train. I've seen an anime with a space train, and it was pretty cool. Space train. Pull out. Pull out to where?
I don't know.
All over me? Fuck, I don't know.
You can wash those sheets. Just get to them real soon.
Just grab the towel before it hardens. Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah, Mike picked that up. I can see it.
I wish I could pop my neck so thoroughly.
Yeah.
I can sometimes twist my head around and I get a real good one, like right at the base of my skull, which worries me because it sounds like it could kill me one day.
Yeah, I worried about that for a bit, and then I was like, but it feels so good.
It feels so good.
And it sounds good.
Yeah. Oh, finally. This long-ass episode. But we're back in Gongaga. I guess that was the closest city. Actually, yeah, that is the closest city to the Temple of the Ancients. That you can reach by the tiny Bronco, anyway. And so they're all like, hey, if you go nuts and Sephiroth makes you go nuts again, I'll just knock your ass down.
And don't think for a moment I won't.
No, Barrett would actually be perfect for that. Just bop!
Cloud's passing out with a giant cartoon lump on his face and a black eye's like, thank you. Like a tooth is falling out.
Yeah, just a depression in his face, the shape and size of Barrett's fist.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, you saved me. I need a dentist.